Good Sunday morning. I hope you all doing all right. Um, so it's been another week of insanity. I'm going to be talking about that with Mike, the Rational Boomer, tonight. You'll see that. He'll post it up on Monday on Spotify and YouTube. Um, so Trump is spinning. They started a war thinking that Iran would not do anything. They would surrender to American power. When apparently there are conflicting reports that Trump knew that he didn't know they were going to close the Strait of Hormuz. He was warned they was going to close the Strait of Hormuz. But in the end, it looks like the truth, or it makes more sense with this narcissist, is that he was told by the military, don't do it. He was told by the military the economic and possible repercussions for um, Gulf states, some that are our allies, what Iran would do. He was told that this could be an economic disaster, that Iran would close the Strait of Hormuz. But you got to understand what Trump thinks. Trump thinks in the terms of his weird, warped idea of business. Okay, I give you something, you give me, I get something. I mean, he has no emotional attachment to that unless there's a transaction with money involved or a transaction, he gets something out of it. See the Epstein files. Okay. So when told they will do this, in his brain, he's thinking, I would never do it because why would I shut off my source of income? Why would I close the Strait of Hormuz when I still need to sell oil? You see the thinking? So he does it thinking that they would not close Hormuz, thinking that it'd be, they still can prosecute this war and oil would flow. Well, brother, the spice is not flowing because you fucked up. And I think if you want to see someone that will be straight up with you and scared to piss at you at the same time, watch Mr. Global. He's a very good creator and he's really has thumb on the oil industry. 21 days is when shit really hits the fan, when the world starts to feel the pinch of this. And we're getting close to it. We're starting the third week, I think, right now, this week. So the roost, everything's coming to roost. But here's the other thing: Trump is so desperate right now. He's so spinning around. He's trying everything to save this and the narrative. It's not working. It's not working. No, your FCC chairman is not going to save you from people telling the truth. We can see what's going on. You literally, sir, bit off more than you can chew. And you probably could have chewed this, but you had no plan. Pete Hegseth has no plan. They have no plan. You removed a lot of the planners from the Pentagon. You removed adjunct generals. You removed analysis honks. You removed people whose job is to determine where targeting was. You removed all that because these are people that push back. These are people that will say, yeah, that's right, but here's the actual facts. And Trump regime doesn't deal with facts. The Trump regime deals with what he says and what he believes, and they move the narrative to fit him. And that is failing miserably. Because you may go on NBC and wherever and say everything's fine, they obliterate. You can say all that shit, but we know what we're seeing. And unlike what Brandon Carr thinks, we don't get our news from fucking mass media. We get our fucking news from independents. And by the way, thanks to this thing I'm holding, I can access CBC. I can access BBC. I can access Al Jazeera. I can see things you don't want us to see. So this is a man struggling with a bad decision, and like he always does, he keeps pushing on it. 5,000 troops are about to, or 2,500 Marines with backed up by 2,500 naval ships are about to invade Karg Island. There's another mistake. Why don't you just announce it? You just did. The Iranians are waiting for you. They got plans. This is not going to prove anything. He's just going to make it worse. And think a little bit here too. Trump will not admit that Russia is helping Iran. In fact, he thinks it's a great idea to take the sanctions on Russians selling oil, because that's going to help everyone. It only helps the Russians, who now can pay to persecute their war even more against Ukraine. Trump won't accept help from Ukraine about the drones that they deal with every day, because he blames Zelensky for the war, just as Putin told him. He has removed Patriot missiles and from South Korea just before he's supposed to meet the Chinese premier. The South Koreans aren't happy. North Korea just shot off a whole bunch of ballistic missiles into the water again. South Korea is not happy. That's nervous. He's betraying South Korea. The expeditionary force is coming from Japan. Its job was to protect Japan against China. You see, I'm seeing a pattern here. That this man is trying to please everyone, but those he should. You know, you can't go to allies now and say, hey, help us protect the Strait of Hormuz, when you told them to go fuck themselves months ago. When you make NATO feel you can't be trusted. This is what's probably going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Our allies are going to isolate us. They're going to say, you're on your own. The Gulf states are going to say, you know what? Tain't worth it, and expel ambassadors. The first step that the Iranians want is expel American and Israeli ambassadors. They're going to do a pact with a non-violent pact or non-aggression pact with Iran. Europe is just going to say, good luck. We got to figure out a way to get oil. And then we're not going to go to the Strait of Hormuz and have our people die for you, Donnie. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump has literally isolated us from the world. And at this time, that's not a good thing. Because at the same time he did that, he attacked the biggest economic center in the world. The spice must flow. Oil must flow. And what's going to happen is they're going to force us out of it by isolating America. And that's the only way you're going to do it. To make America feel it. That's when we're going to do action. So here we go. It's not going to be a fun trip, but this is the only way the world is going to survive Trump. Again, the spice must flow. And if it means squeezing the United States into economic disaster, the world will do it.